Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Amir Poonawala. I am a licensed immigration advisor for New Zealand and migration agent for Australia here at G.E.M.S International. Our office is based in Auckland City of New Zealand. We also specialize and arrange visas for various other countries, and due to the exhaustive nature of this list and different types of visas, we request you to get in touch with us on the contact details provided in the comment section of this video, and we will be happy to assist you with your visa requirement. Thank you. And yes, please click the subscribe button and press the bell icon so you can get regular updates from us with regards to immigration related issues. Before we start our today's video, I would like to read out our legal disclaimer for this video. As always, this video has been made for general knowledge and information sharing purpose, sourced from publicly available information, and does not in any way constitute as an immigration advice from my side. The owner of this video, that is myself, is not liable in any way whatsoever for the information provided in this video. The immigration policies, procedures, fees, legislation, processing timeframes may change at any time, or the visa category itself could become obsolete. And we have absolutely no control over this. And the content of this video may become irrelevant or obsolete. Please exercise due diligence before taking any steps with regards to your immigration matter and/or visa application. And preferably avail professional help and advice for each of your unique situation if you wish. You agree to and understand this before watching this video. Thank you for your understanding. Right. Since I'm preparing a series of different videos for YouTube, I have had to scribble down a few things to make sure that I have covered all the important aspects of the student visa application. And yes, I would always like to thank the developments that have taken place on the information technology front and the possibility of communicating with anybody around the world at the click of a button. And due to this, we receive countless calls from people around the world who are keen to relocate to New Zealand or Australia and have little to no knowledge of what the process involved is or what are the pitfalls. On many occasions, most of our clients approach us when the damage has already been done. Um, like when they receive a refusal letter or a tricky letter asking various facts and figures which they are then not able to provide. This is when most of the clients approach us. I would always like to remind all our prospective clients and viewers that making a visa application is not all about filling forms, but it is about getting and making sure that you have met with all the visa requirements of a particular visa that you are applying for, and that you have provided all the required supporting documents for your visa application properly and in the right manner. Many times, students or other visa application or applicants rather do not get this right first time, and this is where G.E.M.S International specializes in, has the expertise, and we help you prepare your visa application in a way in which the immigration department wants to see or receive at their end. And this is a very important aspect you must always remember, and there are no ifs and buts about it. We also continue to liaise with the respective immigration department once your visa application has been submitted, until the final outcome of your visa has been received. However, you must always remember that no one can provide you 100% guarantee of getting your visa. The simple fact behind this is that the decision of your visa application and the control of making that decision is totally in the hands of the concerned immigration department. We have no control or any influence whatsoever in the process of making a decision on your visa application. However, we can assure you that we will utilize our professional skills, our vast experience, and help you achieve a successful outcome. Thank you for your understanding. In our today's video, we will have a general discussion about how to make a student visa application for New Zealand. New Zealand, as you must be aware, is one of the most sought after destinations for higher studies around the world. And thousands of students arrive in New Zealand every year to commence their studies in the field of their choice. Obviously, along with it comes the bonus of enjoying the best nature has to offer, great lifestyle, a pollution-free environment, pristine beauty, and much more that you will experience when you are here in New Zealand. There are two ways to apply for a student visa for New Zealand. One is the age-old method of using a paper application, and the other is the online application. Our preferred mode of applying for your student visa is through the online channel, as it is one of the most hassle-free ways of submitting your student visa application to the immigration department, and also it is a hassle-free way of following up and providing any further information if required by the concerned immigration department. If this is your first time to apply for a New Zealand student visa, I'm sure you will come across a bunch of unauthorized agents in your town or city where you live. And I sincerely request you to make yourself aware of the risks involved in getting your visa applications done through such unauthorized agents, where there is a pretty good chance of wasting your time, money, and effort while dealing with such unauthorized agents, let alone the damage it may do to your current visa application or the impact or implications it might have on your future visa applications. So this is something you should always bear in mind before taking that step of approaching somebody who is unauthorized and somebody who lacks the knowledge or know-how of how to get this sorted. Many students, when dealing with such unauthorized agents, might not realize that such agents might submit fraudulent documentation along with your application without your knowledge. They may also make false promises to you about getting permanent residence here or getting highly paid jobs. And you must remember at all times that you should not fall prey to such empty promises. I'm sure you must have heard a lot of stories from your friends or on social media about students who arrived here and have ended up in a dead end situation where the only option left for them is to go back to their home countries. And as you can understand, by this time, all the amount they have invested in higher studies, and it could be even a loan that they might have taken, but the amount has already been invested. You see, the amount has already been paid. So there are very less or absolutely no chances of recovering um, the tuition fees by the time you realize that you are in the wrong course or a wrong institution where you should not have been in the first place. And obviously, by this time, all your investment has gone down the drain. So, to avoid all this situation, I highly recommend you that you take help from a licensed immigration advisor instead of trying to cut corners and approach unauthorized agents in your town, in your city. And this by this way, you can avoid a lot of trouble in the long run. Another thing which you will notice is that many such unauthorized agents are mainly operating from your home country or the city or the town where you live. And these agents have very little to no knowledge of the local market intelligence in this part of the world. They have very little knowledge of the process involved in getting permanent residence here, or they have very little knowledge of the job market here. But many a times they will give you a basket full of promises, and this is what could be highly disappointing when you arrive here with all those expectations. So we will clear all those expectations that you have and provide you a very transparent picture of the reality. Okay, and this is where G.E.M.S International steps in to help you and guide you through and through the process. And after a thorough counseling with you and understanding your career objectives, your future plans, we help you select the most appropriate course and college or university depending on your financial budget. And this is what we are basically here for, to ensure that you are always heading in the right direction. The most crucial part of your student visa application for New Zealand is the supporting documentation that you will have to provide along with your visa application. We will provide you with a customized checklist of supporting documents that you will have to organize in order for us to compile and prepare your student visa application. But due to the exhaustive nature of the list of the various supporting documents, we will not go through each of those documents, but I will touch the critical areas in our today's discussion in this video, so you get a fairly good idea of what is involved when it comes to a student visa application for New Zealand. Okay, if you are planning to study overseas, irrespective of whether you are planning to study in New Zealand, Australia, or any other part of the world, I highly recommend you that you start the planning and preparation process at least 1 year in advance. Okay, so as to get everything in order well in advance instead of rushing at the last minute and experiencing chaos and delays. I normally prefer that students do a planning at least 12 months in advance. In your planning process, the first and the foremost step is to organize your finances or the funds that you will require to invest in this project. Funds will obviously be required for payment of tuition fees of the college or university. Funds will be required for your travel. Funds will be required to be shown for your living cost, uh, your visa applications, immigration related application cost is there, and you will also be required to get a medical insurance for the duration of your stay overseas. Plus, you should always have some surplus amount in case of any uh, unforeseen expenses that pop up. Now, you must remember that the budget for studying overseas will vary from country to country. There is no such thing as a flat table of costs that you can look at, uh, and that's quite obvious, I believe. This cost involved in this overseas study project is something you can research on your own. Nowadays, I believe most parts of the world have good internet connection. You can do your own research to get an idea about this, or you can get in touch with us, and we will be able to provide you with all the ready information and database of all such information that we have will be at your disposal instead of you going and wasting months together in gathering all this information. We will be happy to provide you all such information. Um, right. Once your finances are sorted, the next important step is to figure out what is your career objective and accordingly then select the most appropriate study course, whether it be diploma or a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, um, or any other such relevant course that is best for you and that will help you in the long run to achieve your career objective. Many students, in the process of organizing all this on their own, get this wrong, and halfway through or after completing the course, they realize this is not for them. And you can imagine by that time your money, your funds have already been invested, or probably your living cost has already exhausted. And then if you have to jump on to another course in another college, there is again another cost involved in paying for tuition fees and living cost, and so many other costs are there. So it is very, very critical that this selection of your course is done by a professional. And like I said earlier, we will spend enough time with you trying to understand your career objective, um, what you would like to become, what you would like to achieve, or where you would like to be in the future, what roles you intend to take up, and all these various factors we will consider before placing you in a proper and most appropriate course. After the course, college, university have been selected and decided, then comes the next step of getting your admission sorted for the next intake or whichever intake you have decided to start your studies. And we will assist you in organizing all this paperwork. We will coordinate with the respective college or university, and we will also guide you and, if required, train you on how to face uh, an interview telephone call rather, that you may receive from such universities prior to your admission, confirmation from them. So there is a bit of coordination and preparation again here, and we will guide you through that process till you receive your confirmed offer letter from that university. Another important thing you must remember is to arrange your accommodation. Now, you must also bear in mind that not all universities or colleges offer in-campus accommodation, and you will have to either organize this with a friend if you have a friend here or a relative, or through the uh, accommodation facilities um, that are available through the colleges. There are many world-class accommodation facilities available all across New Zealand that can suit various budgets. So either you can do this on your own, or at G.E.M.S International we can also assist you in reserving an appropriate accommodation, most likely which is closer to your institution, so you save time traveling up and down. And there are different types of accommodations available, which and that can suit to any budget. Um, but remember, uh, on an average, the weekly rent for student, depending again, it depends whether you are having a shared accommodation or whether you are wanting to live in a separate standard room or a studio apartment. Yes, there are so many options. You could be living with a host family. You could be sharing with a bunch of other students. Depends. So, uh, the more you try to share things, share the accommodation, share your do carpooling, share the kitchen. All these things will help you save some money down the line, and that is what I would suggest, that sharing will help you save a lot of money. But whatever your choice is, please let us know and we will help you find a suitable accommodation for your stay during your studies here in New Zealand. To give you an idea of the accommodation and living cost, not just for New Zealand, I mean, this can apply for uh, most overseas destination. But remember, this is just an approximate figure, uh, which includes your accommodation cost, your groceries, your travel cost, and all other things. It could vary. It could be anywhere around $1,000 to $1,500 a month. Now, this can highly vary from person to person, depending on your habits, depending on your lifestyle. So, yes, like I said earlier, if you want to save some money, sharing your accommodation, sharing your kitchen facilities, sharing your internet, and all those things, carpooling, is all something you should consider. Okay, so once we have your admission sorted, you're obviously by this time you have already sorted your finances, your accommodation is sorted, and you have provided us all the supporting documents as per the checklist we have already provided you. Then we will proceed to compile and submit your student visa application to the concerned immigration department and await for your visa application outcome. Now, many students, they ask us what are the processing time frames for student visa applications to New Zealand. Um, in normal circumstances, I'd say a student visa application could get processed anywhere between a month to 3 months time frame. But since you are aware that due to the COVID-19 crisis, New Zealand borders are currently closed, and immigration offices overseas are also closed. So, most likely, once the borders open up and all international flights are resumed, um, chances are, because of all this pandemic, global pandemic that we have faced, um, the processing time could be a little longer. So you should be uh, well prepared for that in terms of not wanting to get your admission done at a very at one of the very nearest intakes, but rather I would suggest the intakes, the following intake, because you will have to provide sufficient time for your visa application processing. Finally, once your visa is approved, You can start packing your bags, book your air tickets, and take the next flight to your dream destination, that is New Zealand. If required, we can also organize meet and greet for you at the airport and pick you up from the airport and take you straight to your accommodation. After arriving in New Zealand, you must remember that as a student visa holder, you are only allowed to work part time, that is 20 hours a week, and this will be one of the conditions of your visa, and you must adhere to this condition at all times. So, I believe I have touched uh, all the important areas of a student visa application. If you still feel you have any further queries or you would like some further clarification, you are most welcome to get in touch with us and we will be happy to assist you. Right. I have just thought that I will also touch on this important topic of the telephonic interview call that you might receive from the concerned immigration department with regards to your student visa application. Yes, this is likely to happen in many instances, and you might receive this call. Remember that there is no prior intimation or scheduling of this call, so you will most likely not be aware when the call will come to you. But yes, it's obvious that the call will only come to you after you have submitted the student visa application. The basic purpose of this telephonic interview from the concerned immigration department is to check certain facts and figures that have been indicated in your application, and also to figure out whether you are a genuine applicant or not. But you must remember there is nothing to worry about this telephonic interview call that you might receive, since we will provide you with a list of likely questionnaires that may be asked during such an interview. So we will help you prepare basically for such a telephonic call, and in some instances if we feel that you require further training, we will provide you further training, conduct some mock telephonic interview with you. We will check what answers you are giving for such questions, such likely questions that may be asked, and we will ensure that you are well prepared in all respects for such an interview. But you must always remember that the questions that we will provide you, the likely questions rather, are obtained from our past experience, our past clients, and the immigration officer has all the discretion to ask you any relevant question with regards to your student visa application. And you must make yourself fully aware of what has been indicated in your student visa application. We will provide you a copy of your complete application so that you can go through it and make sure all the facts, figures that you have indicated in the application, you are thoroughly aware of. Last but not least, you will also be required to provide sufficient evidence to prove that you are a bona fide applicant. What this means in simple terminology is to provide enough documentary evidence to show that you are a genuine student and not someone who is utilizing the student visa channel to gain entry into New Zealand. Due to the tricky and complex nature of various visa applications, we highly recommend all our viewers and prospective students who are wanting to come to New Zealand or Australia for higher studies that you take the help of a licensed immigration advisor to lodge your student visa application. We at G.E.M.S International specialize and have vast experience with student visa applications, and you can reach us around the clock on our WhatsApp mobile number 00642217860007, and we will be happy to assist. Thank you once again for watching our video. I hope you have liked it and found it useful. Please click the subscribe button and hit the like button and the bell icon to get regular updates. And we will come back to you with another interesting video. Until then, goodbye, stay safe, and see you next time. Thank you.